Today, we're going to learn how to make these easy, beginner-friendly crochet mittens. Let's hop into the pattern breakdown. You can follow along to the written pattern on my blog. The link will be down below. We'll be using a 5.5mm crochet hook, and I'm using Big Twist number 6 weight yarn, but technically it feels more like a number 5 weight. The pattern is worked in a round from the top down. We'll work in even rows all the way down to your thumb. We will then create a thumb opening, then work the remainder of the way down your wrist. And lastly, we'll go back to the thumb and crochet that. I provided pattern timestamps for easy pattern navigation. We're going to begin with a magic ring. If you can't do a magic ring, you can also chain 4 and slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. Once you have your ring, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Your chain 2 does not count as a stitch. We're going to place 10 double crochets into the ring. So that's 1. You can pause your video here and continue placing your 10 double crochets into the ring. We've completed our 10 double crochets, and all you need to do is slip stitch a join into the top of the very first double crochet. But if you're like me, I like to use the invisible join. With the invisible join, you will not see any seams running around any part of your work. And to do that, all you need to do is take your working yarn, pull it to the back, pull your loop extended, take your hook out, count over 2 stitches, 1, 2, insert your hook from the back to the front, and pull that loop through. And that is how you do an invisible slip stitch. This extended loop will act as a false stitch on the opposite way around, but you'll see that better when we make it back around. So let's start row 2. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and double crochet 2 times back into that same stitch. 1, back into the same stitch, and 2. And that is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. So you're going to place 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back around, and we're going to do the last stitch together. You remember the original extended loop? This is this false stitch right here. It's like a holding place. That's what we're going to place the last 2 double crochet into. So there's 1 double crochet and 2 for an invisible join. So now we're just going to slip stitch a join if you're doing a regular row, or if you're doing your invisible join like myself. Let's start our round 3. So we're going to pull this loop tall, count over 2 stitches, 1, 2, insert back to the front, take that loop and pull it through, and you have your invisible join. Let's start round number 3. What this does, it pushes those chains 2s to the back, and it creates this even looking row. So for round 3, we're going to chain 2 just like before, 1, 2, and we're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch around. This is going to be the pattern repeat for the next 7 rows. So row 3, all the way to round number 9, if you're following along to the pattern that's on my blog. So pause your video here, continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch. When you make it to the end, of course, you slip stitch a join for the next 7 rounds. Try your glove on. It should fit at the base of your thumb. This is what our work looks like so far. And if you're following along to the written pattern, we're going to start on round number 10. Let's chain 2, 1, 2. And we're going to double crochet into 14 stitches. So go back into that same stitch. That's 1. And we're going to continue to double crochet into the next 14 stitches. So pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the completion of your 14. We've completed those 14 stitches. So now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And now we're just going to place 1 double crochet into the last 3 stitches. 1, 2, and don't forget your holder space, and 3. This little hole right here is going to be the space for your thumb, for your mittens. So now we are going to start round number 11. So let's slip stitch the join, or if you're doing an invisible join, skip over to your second stitch, pull through, and you're ready for your invisible join. So for round 11, we're going to chain 2 as usual, 1, 2, and we're going to double crochet in each stitch all the way across. So you can pause your video here and continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch across. That even includes 1 double crochet in each one of your chain stitches. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. We just completed round number 11 and this is what your work looks like so far. So now we're going to start round number 12. Uh-oh, where's the end of my row? For round number 12, we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, double crochet into the next 8 stitches. So you can pause your video here, continue placing double crochets into the next 8 stitches. We completed those 8 stitches and now you're just going to double crochet 2 stitches together across the next 2 stitches. So let's double crochet 2 together, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 3. That is a double crochet 3 together. So that is going to be our pattern repeat. Continue placing 1 double crochet into the next 8 stitches, followed by a double crochet together. So pause your video here and I will meet you at the other side. We just completed round number 12 and round number 13 and on is going to be exactly the same. So we're going to begin by the chaining 2, 1, 2, double crocheting into the very same space and double crocheting in each stitch all the way around. You can go as many rows as you like. For my pattern, I went an extra 6 rows. The rows here is for the very cuff of the sleeve. Mine is long, so I was able to roll mine up and have a cuff like this, or you can have it short or keep it the same color or add fur. All right, so we got that part. So once you finish the cuff of your mittens, we're going to move on to the thumb hole. Now we're going to work on the thumb. I'm just going to turn my mitt upside down, but it doesn't matter where you connect your yarn. I'm just going to attach my yarn to any one of my stitches. And like before, I'm just going to chain 2 to start. Remember, your chain 2 does not count as a stitch. I'm going to double crochet evenly in each stitch around. So remember, these first 3 open stitches, double crochet. And I have a little tip to close up the sides so you won't have a little gap in your thumb, because I hate that any holes left in your spaces. When you make it to the side of your work, I'm not going to place just 1 stitch. I'm going to do a double crochet 2 stitches together. So watch, yarn over. You see this little hole right here? I'm going to go into that one. Yarn over, pull through 2. Now this gap over here, I'm going to go into to pull these stitches together. Yarn over, and now I'm pulling through 3. This closes up that whole space right there so you don't have that ugly gap. Then you can continue placing your double crochets all the way around. And I do the same little double crochet 2 stitches together on this side. So pause your video here, continue placing even double crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it back around, and I'm just going to slip stitch the join into that very first double crochet. I'm not going to worry about doing an invisible join. This round is too small for me to worry about doing that little tricky stitch, and I really can't notice the join. All right, for your next 2 rows, for the thumb round 2 and round 3 is going to be exactly the same. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, place 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around, then slip stitch the join. Simple as that. So pause your video here and continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch around for the next 2 rows. We've made it back around and completed round 3 of the thumb, and we're just going to slip stitch the join into that very first double crochet. Remember, I'm not doing the invisible join. For your very last row, round 4, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to double crochet 2 stitches together all the way around. So go into the first stitch and start your double crochet 2 together. I got halfway done. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 3. So continue doing double crochets 3 together all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back around, and I'm just going to slip stitch to join into the very first double crochet. And I'm going to fasten off my work. I'm going to leave a long tail for sewing. Okay guys, don't be mad at me. I cannot find my sewing needle, but this is what you're going to do. This little hole that's left over in the center, can you see it? You're just going to take this tail and close up that hole. And that is how you make this pair of mittens.